Good evening. We had a request to stream this, so you're all on TV. So smile and say hello. And for those who might be tuning in, or for those who will view the recording at a later date, this is Father Paul Van Sant. We're at St. Stephen's Church in Whiting, New Jersey, and we're about to celebrate our annual Christmas tree lighting service. And before that, we're going to be giving awards and grants to worthy nonprofit organizations in the Whiting area. So we invite you all to follow along with us and to listen to the stories that our different groups have to share with us. We'll do some Christmas caroling, and then we'll go out and light the tree and sing Silent Night. So the first thing I'd like to do is have us all stand up. There's our flag back there. We're going to do the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Welcome to St. Stephen's. A lot of faces I recognize, and I'm glad to have you here with us today. You'll notice we don't have the same number we had the last two times we did this. We usually have 100, 150 people. COVID is costing us, but we decided it wasn't worth waiting another year to do the right thing and to share with our community. And so we took our chances. I hope you heard the PSA on the radio station or saw it in the newspaper. And I'm glad that you responded and came out to join with us tonight. So St. Stephen's is a community-centered church. We do all kinds of different things. We have Bible studies. We have things like the tree lighting. We have a fair. We have we bless the motorcycles once a year. We reach out and we try and help and meet the needs of anyone we can, even if they're not Episcopalians, for that matter, even if they're not Christians. If they have a need, our own food pantry, which is one of the places receiving an award tonight, reaches out to sometimes as many as 500 individuals in a month, and to help them with their food needs and to share with them quality items. That's our purpose here, is to meet the needs of our community. Sometimes it doesn't look quite as churchy as it does other times, but that's not what counts. What counts is that we're touching hearts and bringing people in to join in the community. So one of the things we did several years ago is we joined the Whiting Business Association. And we got a lot of flack for that too. People said, what are you joining a business association? Church isn't a business. Well, they've never had to look at my budget. But a church is a business in one sense, that it runs like a business in terms of its bank accounts and its liabilities and its assets and things like that. But it isn't a business in another way. But no matter how you cut it, joining the business association brought us closer to the community, gave us another avenue by which we could reach out. And so what I'd like to do is invite Joel Wolf to come up here, and he's going to tell you all about the Whiting Business Association, how we got started and how things went with that, because he was one of our first presidents.
Good evening, everyone. So it's a pleasure to be here today. First, I'd like to talk about Father Paul because he is a special person. And through COVID, he is our current president, and he's been our president for the past, I guess, 3 years now. We haven't had an organization meeting, and he really kept us together as a group. But it's a blessing to have him in part of our group. Special man. So let me tell you a little bit about the WBA, which is the Whiting Business Association. We started about 10 or 12 years ago. I was one of the founding members that started, and I have been a past president. I've owned a business out here for 30 years. I own Village Opticians. And I will tell you, kind of when it got brought to us about starting this organization, there was two missions to our organization. One is that we are here, of course, to do business, but we want to make sure people see us as supporting the community. And we are very involved in doing community events. And the other thing is we want to keep the business community strong. We want to help the business stay here. To have a flourishing community, you need to have business within that community. So it's enjoyable to stay here and be able to have services that are available to us. Through COVID, it's been a little bit of a challenge. We haven't really had too many events through the past 2 years. But in the past, we've done quite a few things. The tree lighting is something we've been doing for the last few years at this church, and it's been a really good event. I mean, today is not an example of what we've had. We usually have such a problem where we have too many people that we're trying to get people into the next venue, which we serve food, and it was starting to grow too big for us. But it was really a great event that we've had, and it's something that we do. Of course, there's no fee for it. Giving people food, enjoying the Christmas time is a very important thing for the holidays. But we've done many things, like we've had events, we've had different shows, we've had business fairs, we've had health fairs, we had wine tasting, we had a really nice wine and food pairing event. We had Stella Theater Group was at the beginning, and he would run community shows. And we're not really a service organization, but we do service work. So we are connected in some ways to every portion of the community, volunteer organizations, to the churches, and also to the business, and especially the people that live here. So we're going to talk about a little bit about not only our organization, but one of the things is the service community that is here. We have the first aid squad here. So because we're not a service organization does some of the community support, but they actually do a lot of fundraising to be able to give back to the community and be able to support the community in certain ways. Well, that's not really a lot of our mission, but it has become our mission. Joan Tarr was a past president of the first aid squad. I know they have new presidents, and I don't know all the members of the first aid squad, but they have I've been personally friends with every president that the past presidents have been there. They have done so much, and it's very hard when you're in a community like the Whiting community, when the volunteers are seniors themselves, especially for like the first aid squad. Volunteerism is something that comes from the heart. And unfortunately, a lot of times some people don't volunteer like they were volunteering a few years back. And the first aid squad had come out to our office numerous times to help people that have even fallen, got sick. And you've seen them throughout the whole community helping out throughout the years. In the 30 years I've been there, they might have been to my office 20 or 30 times. And they've always there. Like I said, there's some people in their 70s, 80s, helping people getting up. It's not easy for them to do. And one of the things that Joan came to me a few months back, she said that there's a change in the guards. They were actually, the police department was going to be taking over the first aid squad. And they collect funds throughout the year. And they had a certain amount of funds. They knew that we were involved in the community, and they wanted to give us funds that would now stay within the community. So people that I guess donated to the first aid squad, she wanted to ensure that the money stayed within the community of Whiting. And I ensured her that we would do that. And that's part of what we're doing today. Today's the first day that we're actually giving back some of those funds. And so we're going to have some of the people here talking about some of the things that they do and the money that we're donating to them. It's just a portion of what we're going to be giving out because we aren't going to give out money throughout the rest of the year. So I'd like to first introduce the first aid squad. They didn't want to come up here. I wish they did come up here to tell a little bit more about their story, but they are an amazing group of people. I mean, everybody volunteers, but to be a first aid squad, it's a major dedication. And I can't thank them enough for all they've done for this community. I've tried to support them back in return my own little way with what we do within our office, but there's no way we can say thanks for every time that they have done, the nights, the days, and all the time that they spent trying to help others. So I'm going to invite not them to come up. They didn't want to come up, but I would like them to stand up and be recognized. I want to thank you for all the years that you've been supporting this community. So the donations that we're giving out today really is coming through the WBA, but it's really coming from the first aid squad. We're going to be presenting 4 awards today. And Father Paul is going to introduce the first one, and then I'll speak a little bit on behalf. But the first one is actually from a food pantry within this church itself. Jim is the one that runs the food pantry. He's going to come up and talk a little bit about the food pantry. But we're giving a donation today, a substantial donation through the first aid squad to an organization like the food pantry. We don't realize throughout the year how many people are in need of food, just basic services. And this is just one of two of the food pantries that we're supporting today. But I hope that we don't just end today and then forget about them till next year. I hope we can bring food, bring donations, and help support these food pantries. It's vitally important for people to be able to, just to eat, you take it for granted sometimes. So Jim's going to tell you a little bit about the food pantry. So come up, Jim. Thank you very much.
I'm going to be taking this mask off so you can hear me. Don't get scared. First of all, I'd like to introduce Judy. She's my wife. She runs the pet pantry part of our pantry. So basically, when people come in for food, it's not just for them to eat, it's for the animals to eat also. I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, thank you. The food pantry is the first part of the pantry. And then in 2016, opened up Hungry Paws. That's the name of it. And it was based on an article I had read about a social worker who went to see her client and brought food. And the woman called her doggie up and was sharing this dinner. And the more I thought about it, and I spoke with Jim, we took a survey with a lot of our patrons, and they all have pets. And I wanted them, if they're getting food from our pantry, I don't want them to have to share it with their dog unless, of course, the dog is begging and they can't resist. So I started Hungry Paws, which primarily takes care of dogs and cats, all different sizes. And it's a supplemental food giving that I do. And it's through Chewy, thank goodness. Thank heaven they deliver. And it makes it very easy for me. And people come in, they get their food, and then they get their pet food. And it just helps. And this way, their pet is being taken care of as best I can help. And the pet is family. So you take care of your family. That's just the way it is.
All right, boy, that's loud. It's my turn. The church here gave approval for a food pantry on the property many years ago. Now, what's many years ago? About 8 years ago. We actually, yeah, I mean for the building. Superstorm Sandy, that was what, 2012, I believe. Does that sound right? 2012, what did I say, 2012? That's when we actually started, because If you're all from this area, you'll probably remember nobody had power. And everybody was just emptying their refrigerator and you couldn't get it. So we took the effort to go to farmers markets and get at least fresh fruits and vegetables and things like canned hams, things that weren't perishable or not perishable at all. And that's how this whole pantry thought started. A couple of years later, when I saw the need in town as to, wow, there are a lot of people out there that have not that much income. I'll give you an example. You know what you got to live on each month. The average person that comes to this pantry, and they're qualified by income too, lives on about $1,200 a month. We have people that are coming in that live on $700 a month. I don't know how they do it. So we have income limits. In other words, we qualify people to make sure it's going to the right people. And we've been doing this here in that building across the parking lot since 2014. So we're about ready to hit our 8th year. We deliver to people that don't drive, and everybody gets to pick out what they want up to a certain weight limit. So this way, nobody is being handed a box of food, say, and they look at it and, well, I don't eat peanut butter. I'm allergic to peanut butter. I can't drink whole milk. So this way, if they pick it out, you know they're going to eat it and it's not going to be wasted. So that's the way we basically run that pantry over there. I'd like to stop right now and thank the Whiting First Aid Squad, because I don't know what we're going to get, but I'm thanking you for whatever it is. And then directly, indirectly, whatever the WBA for considering us as a grant, I guess. And I don't know what else to say right now. So
That's a first.
I'll deal with you later. Thanks for listening to me.
Excuse me one second. My husband forgot, the backbone of our pantry are our volunteers, some of whom are church members, some are who just, they live in the community, but they are there for us. And without them, we could not do what we do. I also want to say the community has been wonderful, even with the pets. I get pet food like crazy donated to me. But without our volunteers, one of whom is here, sitting in the back, we would not be able to do what we do.
The second recipient is going to be another food pantry out here. It's the Whiting Food Pantry. So you can come up and you can talk about the Whiting Food Pantry. But, we talk about the pets, which is a really important thing. But most people, if they're do not have enough food to feed themselves, they generally will feed the pet first. So it's really important that to be able to feed both parties, because if you're feeding if you just give enough food for yourself to the pet, you don't have anything to eat for yourself. So it's very nice that you included the pets. Okay, come on up.
Thank you. My name is Susan Babbitt, and along with my husband, Steve, who's sitting in the audience, we are the directors of the Whiting Food Pantry. The Whiting Food Pantry has been in existence, I believe now for over 30 years. And we've been the directors of it since 2016. It's, for those of you who may not know, it is located in the Community Reformed Church, which is at 36 Lacey Road, again, right in Whiting. And we currently, we are open on Mondays and Thursdays from 9 until noon. And last week, for the first time since the pandemic hit, we have moved the pantry. We've moved the whole operation back inside again. We were doing just, drive-through service only ever since the pandemic hit in the spring of 2020. So we are now back inside. Everyone has to wear masks and so forth, but it seems to be working well. But to say this donation is a wonderful thing, and this is really how the food pantry continues to operate, and for us to be able to give the clients this kind of service and be able to give them extra food that we don't get from the Monmouth Ocean Food Bank. It's now called Fulfill, and it's also more government regulated. We do get some of our food from the USDA and state food. So a lot of the extras, if you will, we do have to purchase. So this donation from via the First Aid and the Business Association is greatly appreciated. We also have a great group of volunteers. Some of them have been volunteering, well, a lot longer than us. Some of them have been volunteers for 15 years or more. And we probably have 20 volunteers. And that's what really keeps us going, is because we need people there during the week. And every month we do get in, that's when we do get in our huge food order. And we usually have 8 or 9 people that are there helping with that. So, and we're always looking for new volunteers if anyone might be interested. But mainly today, I just wanted to say thank you very much for this generous donation. Thank you.
Okay. Now, our third recipient, I became aware of this where we had a WBA meeting and someone from Providence House came in to tell us a little bit about Providence House. And coincidentally, they were almost across the street from my office. So it was very easy for me to reach out to them. And I reached out to them a couple of weeks ago. We kind of put this WBA Christmas lighting together very late. So I apologize that I didn't get a chance to get some of this to talk to you before, but I'm not going to talk too much about Providence House. I know it's a very worthy cause and it's local to our community. So I'm going to have one of the representatives come up and speak on Providence House.
Hi, thank you so much. My name is Rachel Johnston. I'm the Community Affairs Manager at Providence House. And for those of you who don't know, Providence House, we are the domestic violence services in Ocean County. So we provide free services to anybody who has experienced domestic violence. And most people assume that domestic violence is just physical, but unfortunately, it is a pattern of power and control, and it's not just physical abuse. So there's emotional, psychological, isolation, financial abuse. So what we do at Providence House is provide free services to anyone who is experiencing or has experienced any of those type of tactics. And we have an emergency safe house, a 24-hour hotline. We have individual and group counseling, legal advocacy in the courts. We have a children's program. Did I say that already? And we have a lot of opportunities for volunteers. We also have a food pantry within our offices. And I have some stats too that I wrote down. In 2020, we had 1,640 clients. Right now, actually, our emergency safe house usually can house 27 clients. But because we're technically considered a homeless shelter, due to domestic violence, we have additional funding to put clients in different locations that are safe, like different housing. So we continue to accept clients. So right now we have about 58 clients, women with their children in emergency shelter, when normally we can house 27. So we're, definitely upwards near double. So the extra funding that we get at the holiday time, we're really able to use that to provide our clients with gift cards. Having so many in different locations makes it really tough for our donations, which we get a lot of, and we're so lucky to be able to give with our volunteers, like being able to do this. But the financial help really allows us to provide what we don't receive donation wise, or if something comes up, we're able to handle it. So we really appreciate the First Aid Squad, your great gift, and the Whiting Business Association. I have some brochures and things if you guys have questions, since a lot of people are unsure of what we do. And it's really great that you have us here to let everyone know that we're here and have these free services to the community, especially being right in Whiting. That's where we have the individual and group therapy sessions. So it would be great if anybody knew someone that might be experiencing that it's right in town. So thank you so much. Thanks, and Merry Christmas.
Oh, can I have that, please? Yeah, that's okay. Thank you. Okay, so our last recipient for this portion of giving out some of the funds that were given to us, the First Aid Squad, and we'll be giving out checks right after we do this last announcement, is Keswick Drug and Alcohol Addiction Center. So I've known about the Drug and Alcohol Addiction Center for quite a while. Again, in that same community, I'm across the street from Keswick, and we've had numerous people come in that have broken their glasses that come into their facility and have come over to us, and I really know a lot about this. And so people don't realize how big drug and alcohol addiction is, and the reason for that is a lot of people will hide if their children or their grandchildren or friends or family have an addiction problem, but it's very big, and it's growing, especially through the economy, through COVID, but it's just growing. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of why it's happened and some things that you can prepare for yourself. And then I'm going to let the director from Keswick come and talk about the program itself. So first, why do we have such a big problem? Is because a company called Purdue Pharma. Purdue Pharma is the company that introduced and brought in OxyContin. And OxyContin was a business. It wasn't meant for the benefit of anybody's health care. It was the welfare of that company. And they lied and brought numerous drug reps around to numerous doctors, promoting it as a safe way of treating pain. And it really is not. And it's caused an epidemic. It's a bigger story that I could go on for a long time, but it's still being, the people that have caused the problem really never got indicted properly, never got fined properly. And although they have paid certain restitutions, it's still going on and on. More people die from drug addiction than die from automobile accidents. More people die from drug addiction than have died in every single war combined. Okay, you don't realize how big the problem is. And like I said, I know personally a lot of people that have had drug problems. I know this family, one of the nicest families I know. They have children that are really good students. They were like perfect students. And this stories that I'm going to tell you is probably very similar. They talk about this, that the names change in the stories, but the stories are pretty much the same. Because it ruins families. It ruins not only the people that are addicted, but the family and the friends of those people. And it's kind of connected to a lot of the different associations through the, Pantry and through violence, through different spouses. So one thing is that this family had these beautiful, beautiful kids. They were all doing great in school. Parents never missed a day of any one of the school events, the sporting events. The kids were all doing great in school. And one of the children became addicted. And so people become addicted from two reasons. Either from bad choice from school. It becomes available to them at different parties and stuff, and they don't realize the realm of how big it becomes. And a lot of it comes from when you go to your doctor. You go to a dentist today, and they'll give you an enormous amount of these Oxycontins, Percocets, and they're really not needed. And the problem is it gets out into the community, either through being stolen or people put it into their medicine chest, and their kids come, their grandkids, or different type of vendors come in, people that work in your house come in, and the first thing they look in your medicine chest, and they steal that medicine, they steal that Oxycontins. So that's how it got out. But it really became from the company Purdue Pharma. And I'm not going to go over a lot of the details, but I will tell you that it's ruined so many people's lives. And the family I'm talking about is mine. So my son was a drug addict person for 13 years. Thankfully, he's doing great, but that's not common. A lot of people pass away from this. So I'm very connected to this. And I'm going to let them talk about this, their addiction center. But everybody goes through the same thing. When you go through a period of that, you'll have things stolen from your house. People get in trouble with the law. And unfortunately, a lot of people die from it. And it's unfortunate. And it comes really from a company that really misrepresented this. Because basically, Oxycontin is synthetic heroin. So when you go to the doctor, and I always told friends of mine and any family member, you go to the doctor, pain is part of recovery. Now, I'm not saying Oxycontin or any drug, there's pain that has to be addressed with some medications, but it really is abused the way it's given out. And that's where it comes into the community. So I'm going to have them come up and talk about the program that they run here right in Keswick.
Thank you, Joel, for sharing your heart. I know it's a difficult thing to say at times, but I want to share with you, addiction is a huge problem, as you've already pointed out. If I were to ask by a show of hands, how many people know directly or indirectly somebody affected by drug addiction, everybody's hand should go up, because if it's you, your relatives, somebody you know has an addiction or had an addiction and dealt with this. And addiction is an epidemic. And so I would like to share with you a little bit about this problem that we have and the solution. See, the problem is that we all have a need. A lot of people try to fill this need with things that it's not meant for. Addiction is a problem that has been around for so long. The Colony of Mercy is an addiction recovery ministry for men that's been around for 124 years. 124 years ago, a man came here from Philadelphia and purchased the property, and he started it because he wanted to take people out of the city and bring them to a place where they could get out of the world and focus on God. And so thus started the Colony of Mercy, its addiction recovery ministry. Now, 124 years ago, Oxycontin wasn't a problem. Heroin wasn't a problem, maybe morphine in some areas, but alcohol, through prohibition, things like this. And addiction is a sin that has crippled so many people's lives, has enslaved so many people. And how do I know that? Because I myself have been enslaved to addiction for most of my adult life. I showed up at the doors of the Colony of Mercy in 2015 as a heroin addict, strung out, and that's very lightly with the wording I'm using, because there's a whole lifestyle that goes along with that, which I don't have time and I wouldn't want to give you details. But God set me free, and he used this ministry to do so. I'm amazed to see people's lives transformed every day. We also have a women's residential addiction recovery ministry called Barbara's Place. And our barber's place is open for about 7 years now. And so our heart's desire was to see a place where women could come to be set free from the bondage of addiction as well. And so we have our addiction recovery ministry. And so from the bottom of our heart, I want to say from all of us at America's Kazakh, thank you for this very generous gift. Thank you for your support. We do appreciate you. And it's because of people's faithful support, prayers, and giving that we're able to do what God has called us to do. We know that we believe that the answer is Jesus Christ. That's what we believe. There's a strong conviction. Not everybody agrees with us, but that's what we believe for 124 years. So that's what we stand on. When a guy comes in the program, we give him a Bible. There's no smoking, no drinking. We take them out of the world in a sense, still the same foundation, what we wanted. And we teach the word of God. We memorize scripture and we share with them what working is like. We have a work therapy program. And so the men work. And a lot of these guys, after coming out of addiction lifestyle, have never worked or haven't come from working, at least honestly. And so we're not only transforming deep down from internally, but also teaching good habits over a 4-month period. There's plenty of guys that leave and go back to the lifestyle they did before. But when a man or a woman gives their life to God and is set free, it is amazing. It is worth every minute, every dollar, all the time we spent. I would like to encourage you, if you know anybody struggling in addiction right now, I have plenty of literature for the Colony of Mercy for our men, Barber's Place for our women. We also have a conference ministry. We have monthly events. People could come out. We have a men's fellowship night. It's always the second Thursday of every month. So if you want to come out, men, we also have a women's event once a month called Girl Talk. There's a nice meal, a message, time of fellowship. And the ministry, though, the addiction recovery ministry, we don't just cater to the man in the program or the woman in the program. We also have programs set up for the families. If a man's in the program and he's married and has children or just married, and we don't just leave his wife high and dry, we have a program called Enrich that will reach out to her and keep her connected, and they will counsel with them. They'll have meetings together, group counseling, one-on-one counseling, marriage counseling. And so we make sure to cover all our bases. We don't want to just leave the wife or the husband of the woman out to dry. So we reach far and wide, and we believe that when a person is set free, it's not just them. There's going to be a ripple effect. It's going to trickle down through the family. And I see it all the time, and I'm so grateful for it. But I don't want to take too much of your time. I just want to say thank you so much for your support. Thank you all. And if you would like, I'll stick around, and I'd love to share a bit more about the Ministry of America's Kazakh, Colony of Mercy, and Barber's Place. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Jesus loves you.
Okay, before Father Paul giving out their awards and the checks, I just hope that the first aid squad, we did a good job in finding the right recipients. So we're still going to be giving out the remaining portion that they gave to us to give to you. I'm hoping that all your work, as you can see, continues on. All your hard dedication you had for all these years. And the notion you're giving is what it's for. It's to help this community. So Father Paul.
I told him he could talk as much as he wanted, as long as I could give out the money. Our first recipient is our Daily Bread Food Pantry and Hungry Paws. Each person will get a certificate, which I personally made just for them. You'll notice the wording is the same, but all the pictures are different. And Hungry Paws includes one of a dog. So they can frame that and hang it up in their office. For your information, each group will be receiving a grant of $5,000 tonight. Well, where is Fran?
Fran's right there.
Oh, okay. You want to take pictures? I thought it'd be good. Why do you think I've been waiting to give out the money? I want to be in the paper. Why don't you guys come on over here? And why don't you get the picture too?
Okay, yes, please. I'll step here, I'm sure.
Just hold it like that. Oh, okay, wait a minute. Let me get it so they can see that there's a check too. Okay. Okay. Here's your envelope. Yep. There's a paper clip if you want to hold everything together. Okay. Our second recipient will be the Whiting Food Pantry, whose pictures include miles and miles of shelving filled with food. Okay. And here's an envelope and a paper clip to help you keep things together. Yep, you're next. Oh. You know, all these groups have been put under unbelievable stress in the last 2 years. Abuse has increased because of COVID. Addiction has increased because of COVID. Lack of food has increased because of COVID. It's been a terrible time, and these are the people who respond to our needs. And I know how important that is. And what you don't know is I just sent someone to your group this afternoon who called me here at the church. Wow. They should be in touch with you, who's in a situation that they need to find a way out of. And so knowing that they're there is very important, and knowing that all these groups are there is very important. So here's your, gonna get the picture here. You can step, see, he wants to stay up. Uh-huh. Okay. Here is your envelope and your paper clip. Yeah, make sure she gets that. And last but not least, the Kazakh Recovery Program. And everything I was saying before counts for everybody. There's your certificate. Here's your check. Moving just a little bit. There we go. Thank you. And here's your.
Take one picture, everybody, and then we'll be.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Last picture. Take everybody here.
Why don't you and I stand behind them?
Okay.
Somebody that their eyes closed. So I like to take several so I can get everybody.
Thank you.
Would you want to come up here with us, or would you rather not?
You're welcome to join us.
We'd love to have you if you wouldn't mind coming up. Up to you. Don't feel comfortable, then.
Good. Money. Okay. Thank you. We want to thank everyone for sending representatives of their groups to receive their awards and to help educate us a little bit about what they do. And in celebration of the event that we're doing, we now have the Crestwood Chorus, who's going to come up and do a few numbers for us and then lead us in some carol singing after that. So, and then there's lots of food in the other room. Yeah, right. Hi, Ashley. I think so. You guys are coming up on the altar, right? Come on, Bill. All the mics are on.
Crestwood Chorus just had its concert on Sunday, and they've been around for over 50 years. And COVID kicked us in the, in the, whatever, in the
Push.
or the knees, took us out by our knees or something. And so we ended up with 16 singers who were amazing on Sunday. And we've been as big, I heard, over the years as 100 people. And I've seen them with maybe 50. They did a fabulous job, and not all of them are able to make it tonight, but a few people are here. Quite a few of us are here, and we are going to just sing 3 pieces of our concert music for you. And then when we're all done with that, they'll go sit down and we'll all sing a few Christmas carols together. So come on up, and we haven't decided where we're going to stand or anything. So you can stay right there. Put the men right across the back here, put the ladies altos. Is this it? Oh, no, it's not it. I'm coming down here, guys. Now, we did this with microphones on Sunday, and there's even less of us today. So I hope that you can hear us.
I hope you all realize that this is Esther Graham, who's the choir director. And I'm very proud to say my organist here at the church. And she does a wonderful job. And she could have 2 people and they'd sound like 50.
I think that any of us will have. First thing we're gonna sing is how far is it to Bethlehem? You have to share with someone. Bring it down to the, yeah. All right, let's go that way just a hair. And wow, 4 and 4, this is fabulous. So,
Call it an octet.
yes, Rich Christian is on the piano. He's fabulous. He's the director, the interim director of the Island Singers. He conducts Crestwood something. Crestwood Manor. He conducts a few other, he's a busy man. But we lucked out. We're blessed. Let me put it that way. Have Rich playing for us. Oh, hold on. How far is it to Bethlehem?
scam.
Thank you very much. I just want to thank them all for their hard work. And like everything else tonight, it was a last minute thing. We called them about a week and a half ago. We said, we need you. They said, we don't have time to plan a program. I said, just do what you did before and everything will be all right. And they did what they did before and everything is all right. So now they're going to lead us in some carol singing. And as soon as we're done with our carols, we will go and get something to eat, and then we will light the Christmas tree. Is there anyone who's not going to be able to stay for another 30 or 45 minutes? Good.
45 minutes.
No. I'm thinking of the eating and the tree lighting. I just, they're not going to sing.
Everybody has, oh, that's really nice and loud. Everybody has the sheet with the carols on it. Shall we let them pick or you want to pick? Anybody have a favorite song off the list that they would like to do?
I don't see any.
Deck the Halls, which is number something. Oh, it's 1. All right. Okay, you don't have any. Oh. You won't sing. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly. La 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 la. Dawn now our gay. La 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol. La 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 la. See the blazing Yule before us. La 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 la. Strike the harp and join the chorus. La 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 la. Follow me in la 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 la. While I tell of Yuletide treasures. La 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 la. Oh, come all ye faithful. You want to conduct them and I'll play? Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Anybody have a favorite? I'm sorry? We're singing that outside. We're saving that till the end. It's the denouement. It came upon a midnight clear. I have the best job in the whole entire world. I drive a school bus. It's my favorite job I've ever done. But I'm sick of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and I'm sick of Jingle Bells. And it's not, what is that one, it's something about Old MacDonald fun or something, I don't know, in Jingle Bells. No, the little ones right behind me. Jingle bells, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And that, when they're little, they don't get all the words right, but. What shall we sing? One more song. Silver Bells. Where'd it go? There it is. It's number 10. Busy sidewalks, dressed in holiday style. In the air, there's a feeling of Christmas. Children laughing, people passing,
just want to take 1 second to acknowledge the folks who are online with us tonight. On YouTube, we had some people tune in, and they've been following us through the awards and through the music. And we just want to thank them for being there with us. And let everyone else know that if later tomorrow, you can't look at it tonight because they're probably going to try and take all the music out of the thing. But tomorrow, if you go on to YouTube, St. Stephen's Episcopal Church, Christmas tree lighting, it'll get you there, and you'll be able to play this over and see what we did and show other friends and family what's going on. All of our services here are recorded and kept on the site. Everything since the COVID began. You can go back to any holiday or anything. Our healing services are broadcast. Our baptisms are broadcast. We just had a wonderful baptism this past Sunday, and a few Sundays before that. Where'd she go? Where's my Gloria Rose? Is she asleep? There's Gloria Rose, the second newest member of the church. Yay. She's a sweetheart. And we've got a deal going. We think she's going to walk up the aisle to get her communion on Christmas Day. And we're going to see if that happens. But she's doing good. Yeah, she's walking, and she's a little teeny tiny tot. So anyway, I just want to thank everybody also that came here tonight to be with us. I know that you have to fight a lot of people say, oh my gosh, don't go out. You go, Omicron, and all that kind of stuff. It's good to see you here. It's good to know you're vaxxed. It's good to know you trust God and that you want to be together with your community. And we really appreciate that so much. Yes, Owen. You want me to make it closer? All righty. Well, now, when we were doing our ones before COVID, we would have to continue singing and meter you out row by row. But today, you can all just run like rampant into the food area and get what you need. So we'll meet you all out there, and don't anybody trample anybody else. We want you to be able to come back next year. Thank you all. After the food, we'll go outside, sing Silent Night, light the tree.
If I have a device.
I will try and get back online.
I can.